we get into tonight's case, I would like to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, and that is Incogni. Did you know that a lot of times when you go online and you sign up for a new account, that information can be sold? Data brokers buy your personal information and then sell it to outside companies, and they will use your information to send you advertising material through emails, actual junk mail to your house, robocalls. This information can be sold to people search sites. You can go online, just look up somebody's name and find out their address, their phone number. You can even find out the names of their children that way. The good news is you can reach out to these companies and ask them to remove you from the lists, but it's almost an impossible task because there are so many of them, and as soon as you get one down, it can pop up at another site and another and another. That is where Incogni comes in. They do all this work for you, and it's as easy as creating an account and granting Incogni permission to contact the data brokers on your behalf. I was super excited to set up my own Incogni account because I am constantly inundated with spam emails, so many that I am scrolling like this nonstop, trying to look for my legitimate emails. So as soon as I started my account, Incogni told me that I am on 79 data broker lists. Can you believe that? And they immediately started taking me off the lists, and I could watch on my dashboard the progress that they were making. I highly recommend that you head right on over to Incogni. Use the link in the description box below and get an exclusive 60% off of an Incogni annual plan. Thanks again to Incogni, and let's get back to the case. Tonight's case took place in the year 2012. This is the case of Jennelle Potter. Now, before we get into it, I'm gonna warn you that this case takes so many twists and turns, you will not believe the ending. Trust me. So, Jennelle Potter was born in 1982 and raised outside of Philadelphia. Her parents' names were Barbara and Marvin Potter. Her mother worked for Hewlett-Packard, and her father was an ex-Marine who had served during Vietnam. He also claimed to have worked for the CIA for a time. Marvin and Jennelle both collected disability. Marvin got it because he had injured his back, and Jennelle was qualified for disability because she had developmental delays, she had type 1 diabetes, she had anxiety and hearing loss. It was reported later that she had an IQ of 72. Jennelle also had a sister named Christy who was estranged from the family. The Potters have been described as a God-fearing, gun-packing family. Christy, Jennelle's sister, would later say in an interview, quote, "Instead of being herself, my parents tried to She's referring to Jennelle in this statement. So Jennelle was incredibly sheltered as a child. Her parents didn't let her stay out late. They didn't let her drive or ever have a boyfriend. She spent most of her time at home, and she never got a job. When Jennelle was about 23, she and her parents asked Jennelle, who could possibly be doing this to you? And Jennelle said, I think I know who it is. It's Billie Jean. You know, the 23-year-old girlfriend of Billy, the man that she liked, supposedly. And the reason why she is doing this to me is because she is jealous that I am prettier than she is, and she's afraid that I am going to steal her man from her. So of course they spoke to Billie Jean, and she said, no way, I am not the one writing these threats. And her boyfriend, Billy, I believe at this point he was actually her fiance, Billy backed her up, like, it is not her, you are ridiculous. But Jamie, who is the cousin of Billy, remember, Jamie said, you know what, I don't believe you guys, Billy and Billy, I don't believe you. I believe what Jennelle said. So there was a rift in the family over this. And then one day, someone threw a rock into the yard of Jennelle. And on the rock, it had the names of Billy and Billie Jean painted on the rock. So that was the last straw. Barbara was done with this. She reported it to the police and hoped that they would be able to help. But on January 31st, 2012, Billy Payne and Billie Jean Hayworth were found in their home, dead from gunshots. Billie Jean had been holding her baby. He was 7 months old. He was not harmed, but he was found in the house with the two dead bodies, his parents. So the day after the murders, the police went to the Potter house to talk to them. And during the interview, the family told the police about all the harassment, but they said they have no idea who might have murdered these people. Then they brought in Jamie down to the police station. Jamie is Jennelle's boyfriend. And he said he doesn't know either, but he agreed to take a polygraph and he failed it. He was supposedly not truthful when he was asked if he knew who had committed the murder. So in other words, it seemed that he did know who did it. So they continued to interrogate him. And at some point he said, is the CIA here? And they were like, what are you talking about? Why would the CIA be here? And he told them that he had been in communication with a man named Chris from the CIA, who had told him that it was his job to protect Jennelle at all costs. And ultimately, he confessed that Jennelle's father, Marvin, is the one who killed the couple, and that he was there. But he said that they were told to do it by this guy Chris from the CIA. So, of course, the police were completely just baffled by this, but nonetheless, at least they kind of knew what had happened to some extent. So they went and they arrested Marvin, and they searched the Potter house. they were emailing on things having nothing to do with, protecting Jennelle. They were talking about all kinds of topics in addition to the danger that Jennelle was in. Nobody had met Chris, though. All of the communications were through email. And the father, Marvin, never even was involved in the emailing because he did not even know how to use email at all. Okay, so Barbara would tell him everything that was going on. Now, Chris said that he had been watching Billy and Billie Jean and that the two of them were planning on harming Jennelle. Now, Barbara was getting no help from the police at this point. And in one email, she wrote to Chris, quote, "We've had enough and we want peace and no one here wants to kill anyone, but we will," end quote. So Chris said, since I'm in the CIA, we will protect you. Your names will be cleared if you do anything illegal, so don't worry about it. So he convinced Barbara to get her husband to commit the murders of Billy and Billie Jean. And Marvin asked Jamie if he would help by driving him to their house. And Jamie agreed. So Marvin chose the day that he felt was right, and he called Jamie that morning and said, "Okay, we're on." And Jamie and Jennelle were texting back and forth about this that day, so she knew what was about to go on. And then what happened was the two men, Marvin and Jamie, went over to Billy and Billie Jean's house, and they waited outside until Billy's father left for work. Then Jamie stood guard outside while Marvin went in and he shot Billy and slit his throat, and then he shot Billie Jean in the head while she was holding her baby. So, Marvin denied that he had done any of this when he was in police custody. But at some point, he was on the phone with his wife while he was in prison, and he said that he did it. So they had that on him. Marvin and Jamie were both convicted of first-degree murder. Marvin was given 2 life sentences, and Jamie got a 25-year sentence due to his help with the case, and he had also apologized for the crime. But it was not over yet because they needed to find Chris. So they traced the IP address of the emails, and it turned out that Chris's IP address was the same as the IP address of the Potter family computer. And when they looked at the wording on Chris's emails, they noticed a lot of major grammatical mistakes, major spelling mistakes. And when they compared that to Jennelle's writing, it had the same types of mistakes. And that was enough for them to realize that she was Chris. That's right. There was no Chris. She was writing and pretending to be Chris the whole time, and she set up her whole family and boyfriend to commit this murder for her. And there was no bullying. Okay, that was fake too. She had done that also. She was bullying herself. The police arrested both Jennelle and Barbara. next thing I want to talk about is Jennelle. Now, they said she had the IQ of an 8 or 9-year-old. But yet she somehow figured out this whole twisted plot and got her parents to commit murder. Well, got her father and boyfriend to commit murder for her. How? How did she do it? It really boggles my mind, you know. Granted, her parents were probably not the brightest. No offense, don't come for me, but I am just saying that the mother is sitting there communicating with this Chris. She never saw him. She never spoke with him on the phone. She just believes everything that he's saying. And yet he was making all these huge grammatical mistakes and spelling mistakes. At the very least, wouldn't you expect a CIA agent to know how to write basic words, basic sentences? I mean, that's just me, but... So, she fell for it, and her husband fell for it, and Jamie fell for it. That is pretty shocking. Should her parents and Jamie be blamed for being tricked? I mean, here they all are thinking that this official CIA person working for the government is telling them to commit a murder, and they believe it, you know? So as far as they're concerned, they're not doing something that's truly illegal, you know? They're being told to do it by the CIA. And he said he would get them cleared. I mean, you can kind of get into their shoes and think, hey, you know, they were worried about their daughter. This guy is saying that her daughter is in danger, and they need to take care of it. They need to go kill these people who are going to hurt their daughter. You see, Jennelle knew what would get to them. You know, that's the thing. Number one, she knew her father had a thing for the CIA. Whether or not he was ever in the CIA, nobody really says, but I don't think he ever was. Okay? But he liked to think he was for some reason. So maybe he had some mental illness going on, right? Delusions or something, I don't know. But, so he was into the CIA, so let's tell everyone that he's in the CIA, you know? That'll really get her father, Marvin, into this. And let's play on her mother's heartstrings by saying your daughter is in danger. And Jamie, I don't know. He was just gullible, let's just say. As they all were. So should they be held responsible is what I was saying. Yes. Being foolish and being tricked she